Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to another My Music. Today, I'm going to be speaking to the wonderful Lauren Ann. I would now, at this point, normally have a little video from Analog Trash, but we are in between videos, as it were. So I shall just mention them anyway. This show is sponsored by the wonderful Analog Trash, who send me on a regular basis lots of lovely CDs, tapes, and vinyl, which are always gratefully received, and do a fantastic job of supporting lots of independent musicians. An independent musician like the one that we have in the studio here. Lauren, how are you?
Hello. I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I love the background. It's quite an interesting
Thank you.
array of things that you've got there. You've got the old Nirvana
Oh yeah.
poster.
hmm
Are they people that you aspired to in
Oh
younger
yeah.
years?
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Nirvana. Oh my god. Yeah, it was like the first band that I like listened to, and I was like, I know I need to do music now. Just Kurt Cobain and his like style of playing and everything. Like, I taught myself how to play guitar by watching loads of his videos, and yeah, I think they're the coolest. But thank you for the compliment. Yeah. I have all my posters up there. There's also Just Mustard, which is a great local band. They're fantastic. They're just above it. I don't think you can see it, but
We can get a little bit of it
yeah, it's like,
poking through.
let me see if I can move it up. There they are up there.
There they are.
There they are. But they're
Oh, I
really
love
good.
that.
Yeah, but no,
Cool.
yeah, thank you.
And then guitars.
Guitars. This is my first guitar I ever got, and then this is my bass that I only use really for demos. I like to play bass, but I don't think I'm like the best at it. I'm better at like rhythm guitar. That's mainly what I do. But yeah, I just kind of kept them. They're super old, super kind of banged up, but they just kind
I
of sit
love
there.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're just there.
You can't. It's very difficult to part with guitars,
It
isn't it?
is for sure. Yeah,
Unless,
I mean,
of course, you're trading it in for a better guitar and you're kind of on the way up there.
mhm,
But even then, especially once you start writing songs and you've written the song on a
yeah.
guitar, it kind of then feels like a bit of a you're giving away something more than just the guitar, doesn't it?
For sure,
Oh,
for sure. I mean, like I write all my songs strangely on my acoustic guitar. I got it. I think I got that for my 18th birthday. So it's quite old. Like but not it's not really old, but like I've kept it for so long, and like I write all my songs on it just because that's the guitar I started on. So I'm like I want to continue to write all my songs on that guitar. But yeah, it's like up on a wall and everything, so it's got its own wee place.
yeah. I love the
Mhm.
fact that yeah, you play a little bit of bass as well, etc.
Mhm.
You find it really hurts your hand after a while playing
Oh,
bass?
that's why I had to stop. I strangely like I wanted to be a bassist. I always wanted to be a bassist in a band. Even
It's
before I
just cool,
wanted,
isn't it?
it's just cooler. Yeah, you just kind of get to stand back. And I'm also quite introverted, and I just felt like it suited me. So yeah, I wanted to be a bassist. I tried to learn, but it was just so sore. So I would like that's what like I would play a little bit, but like there's my limits. I can't play that well.
Yeah. What
I
do
went on.
you do you find? Have you got what size hands have you got? Let's just check.
Mm, pretty
Yeah,
big actually. Yeah, I've got
quite
long
big. Yeah.
fingers.
So it's not a case of like not necessarily being able to
No, it's just I don't know. Like it's just the thickness of the strings really hurts, and also I always like to have my
Yeah.
nails done. Which is
Ah,
yeah, I know, and it was just my fingers weren't looking great when I was playing bass, and I can't show off my nails if my fingers look terrible. So
do you know what? I've never asked anyone else this, but I'm going to ask you because it's to do with the way that I play guitar.
yeah,
But seeing as we're on nails and everything like that, are you a nail person? Are you a finger person, or do you use a pick?
I use a pick. I've tried to play finger style. Like I can do it a little bit, but I think like I first learned to play guitar obviously through Kurt Cobain, and I think he used picks, and just it's super like thrashy style of playing. So I'm not that intricate with it. But I would like to be, and I know my lead guitarist in my band. He plays with his fingers, and he keeps them long so he can like pick as well. But
Yeah,
I couldn't do it.
I play with my finger. I struggle to play with a pick, to be honest.
Really? That's
Yeah,
the same as my guitarist, Jared. He's like one of the most talented people I know. But he can't play with a pick. He has to play with his fingers, which is better, I think. I mean, like
I
you'd have to be
just I
more
just like
talented.
the visceral feel of actually,
Mhm.
and I like to pull the strings as much as strum them, and I think
Yeah,
maybe if you're into that, then it's actually better if you've not got a pick in your hand.
yeah,
So
that's true. That is true.
there we go. What was the first song you learned to play ever?
First song I learned to play. Oh, it was probably like "Smells Like Teen Spirit," just because it's like super simple. And yeah, Nirvana was what was inspired me to play music. It was probably "Smells Like Teen Spirit" or "Seven Nation Army" by the White Stripes, just because that's like everybody's first song.
Again, it's super simple, but it's
Classic.
super clever as well.
Hmm.
When you actually learn how that song's actually built up, though, with like the pedals like dropping the octave to make
Yeah,
it sound more like a bass, and it's clever. It's really
very,
clever.
very. Hmm. For
Yeah,
sure.
it's not quite as simple as it first looked. Is that partly why you kind of gravitated to the bass as well? Because it's like,
I'd say so, probably. I just thought it was cooler to play bass. Any person in a band that like I was like if I was seeing local gigs or whatever, I just don't know why. Yeah, I did think the bassist looked the coolest and sounded the coolest. And it was four strings, and I think I thought in my head, four strings, that's got to be less difficult than six string guitar. So I just wanted to be a bassist, but it didn't. I mean, there's still time. I could still be a cool bassist in a band, but right now I'm a
cool.
guitarist.
Now, listen, I've been listening to your music this morning while I've been working, and I've been
Mhm.
trying to sort of like gauge where you're going because
Yeah.
it sounds like I can hear the indie thing
Hmm.
all the way
Yeah,
through, but it feels like you're slowly sort of progressing into a slightly more gothic, a little bit darker sound
for sure.
to
Yeah.
everything. Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Explain the journey?
um, I suppose when I started, I mean, like every artist has to like go through like a period of like trying to find their sound. And I started quite young. I started music when I was 17 or 18. And at that time, I think I was in a different place. Like, even just like in my life, like physically, like I was in high school. I was still trying to figure things out, and also just mentally. Yeah, I think I wanted to be a bit more indie back then. And then it kind of took a turn with like I was releasing like Adelaide is quite like pop music.
Yeah,
um I think I was struggling to kind of find like where I wanted to be, but I always had this idea of doing like heavier, more gothic music, but I didn't know how to get there. um I think I
because you
also
could
had
have. Let's put this right with like Adelaide. But you could have ended up being a Maisie Peters for a minute, couldn't you? Really?
yeah,
I mean,
for sure, yeah.
yeah.
um and that like I love all types of music. Like I wouldn't say like I hate labels. Like I can't really do like, oh, I'm this genre or whatever. But I knew that I wanted to be heavier. I just didn't know how to. And then also just in the industry, it's easy to be kind of like led one way. And I think I was for a while there being definitely led down more of like a pop route. And I wasn't happy with it. So then I just kind of was like, no, like I know what I want now. It just something clicked. One day just something clicked. I wrote Need. Need was one of the first songs that I wrote that I was like, no, this is like the genre I want to be in. This is like the type of music I want to do. And then I wrote Bite, and I'm very proud of those songs just because I feel like that was kind of me being like, no, this is definitely what I want to do now. I know what I'm doing. And it only took me like 3-4 years. So we got there in the end.
It's funny that you said earlier on that you initially you wanted to play bass and just blend into the background and whatever.
Yeah.
Actually, with where you're going musically, do you feel like you're kind of creating more of a band sound now than a Lauren Ann sound?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I mean, again, I think it was just when I started, I didn't really know anybody in the industry. I was kind of like, I was 17, 18, I was still in high school. I was still trying to find my sound. And then I found my amazing band that I've worked with since like, I want to say like a couple of months into my career when I first started. And we're still together, and we're still, going really strong. I still write all the songs, but I do think now I have more of an idea of how to write a song that's like fuller, I suppose, and like sounds more like a band sound. And um, we're close, like we're really close. So like it may progress into a band someday. I don't know, but yeah, I think for now I'm happy being Lorna and like doing it as a solo project. But I am very close with my band, so I do think about their parts as well, and you know, I try to write things for them, like there's like we bass solos and stuff in other tracks and whatever, but like I try to give everybody like a moment. So yeah, like it may progress into a band, but I'm not sure right now.
Yeah, but when you're out and about, it feels like a coherent unit, and you're
Yeah, I mean, everybody
yeah.
thought we were a band. When we were kind of gigging in Belfast and Dublin or whatever, and they just thought that like it was just Lauren and the band. And then I had to keep being like, yeah, we're kind of like a band, but I write the songs, and then like, but then I felt like that sounded so rude. I was like, I hate saying that. Like, yeah, I write all the music, but
Did you end up feeling like you ought to be sort of like Lauren and the you know
Um,
whatever
I I've always wanted to be in a band. It just
right?
so happened that I kind of started solo, and then things happened quite quickly, and yeah, it maybe someday I will be in a band. But yeah, for now I am just kind of writing away and doing things, and I'm kind of happy with like the dynamic we have right now, because there's still like in rehearsals, like our live show is really heavy. And like I know our like my stuff on Spotify is like heavy in itself, but it's not like super heavy. It's still kind of poppy. But the live show is like it's quite rock. Like
Yeah.
so like we still like they still have like their say on like different things for the live show. Like we do work as a band, which is but I would write all the music. Do you know what I mean? It's strange.
Well, I'm going to use maybe a strange musical reference here for you because I'm not liking you or akin you to this at all. But
Mhm.
maybe you should take the sort of Bruce Springsteen route on this, etc. Where it was Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band,
Mhm.
but then you have Bruce Springsteen albums as well. But
Yeah.
primarily when he does Bruce Springsteen albums, it's still the E Street Band in the background. So you could just carry on that vein. Maybe you could
Yeah.
do some, come up with a little moniker for the band,
Yeah.
and then you could
Me.
do some band albums and then some Lawn and albums, and it's basically all the same.
I mean, I think that, yeah, I mean, definitely, I think that might be how things go down in the future. I want to get this EP out just as Lauren Ann, and then I'll definitely start thinking about maybe doing other projects. Because also, like, I have so many different, like inspirations in music and, like, different, like, sounds that I want to kind of, um, I don't even know, like, experiment with. And I think that, like, even band settings would be better for that type of thing, because, like, it can get difficult. Like you can run into walls, especially when you're working alone and writing music alone. Whereas maybe it'll be better like if I had other ideas and stuff from other people. And yeah, I mean, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, definitely, I think I might
Okay,
start a
so I'm
band.
intrigued by this now. So behind closed walls, when we you're singing to
Hmm.
yourself or a
Yeah,
small crowd of people, etc. What other sort of voices come out that we haven't heard yet of Lauren Ann? I mean, could there potentially be further down the line a sort of Nora Jones? Could you croon us a song at some point? Could you go a little bit jazzy?
maybe. Yeah, I mean, I love jazz. I think I want to do heavy music. Like, I love shoegaze. I love My Bloody Valentine. They're amazing. You know, there's so many genres, but I also love like Madonna and the Pet Shop Boys, and I would love to do like
You'd love
some
to
sort
do
of
a
like,
full-on pop album.
yeah, I would love to do a pop album. I also would love to do like DJ sets, like electronic, like
Nice.
strange, like gothic rave type music. I love
Ah.
everything. Like there's so many genres that I love. And yeah, like I said, I hate labels. I never really want to pigeonhole myself into one thing. So yeah, I would love, like, the aim is definitely to start loads of projects and like just keep creating music. Like
I
that's
love
kind of what
that.
it's all about.
I love
Yeah.
that. If you were doing a DJ set, what sort of would you have, like a bit of industrial sound in there as well? Would you like bring in a bit of sort of 9 Inch Nails and
Oh yeah,
stuff like
for
that?
sure.
Oh,
Yeah, Nine
yeah.
Inch Nails. Oh, I was so obsessed with them when I was like 16. Like they were great. They still are great. So yeah, I would definitely say that type of stuff. That's the goal if I do start a DJ set.
Boom. Totally,
Mhm.
mop up the floor. I think that's fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah. It's more
I
just
mean,
like I would love to do these things, but like starting them is easier said than done, you know? It's like finding the time as well because like although I love music and I would love to do it full time, I do have like a wee part-time job. I work as a baker. So, and I kind of it
look,
pays for like the music that I love.
it was good enough for Harry Styles, wasn't
Yeah, so true. So many people have said that to me. They're like,
it?
"Oh, you're gonna do a Harry Styles thing," and I'm like, "Maybe, maybe."
Maybe, maybe.
You never know.
Do you know, I was reading about that the other day. Apparently, they you won't believe this, but apparently, the bakery where he was an apprentice when he was young and whatever,
Mhm.
that's now part of an official Harry Styles tour. And there
I
were
seen
people.
that.
Did you see that?
Yeah, I
That they're
seen that.
running.
That's crazy.
Mm, I
Like,
know.
I mean, there's people visiting that like every day.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Like, and
wild.
being
And there's
shown
also
around, it's like that Harry Styles used to work there and serve from there.
I know. I like it's as if he's like not human. It's like I mean, he might not be, but like it's crazy. And there's also one at like a train stop or something. It was like the train he used to take, or
That's it.
some. I
Yeah.
seen something like that where there was like posters where like Harry Styles like used to do this, and
Well, it's
he
the
used to
sort of
stand
thing.
here.
It's the sort of thing that you do with like religious figures or whatever, isn't it?
Hmm.
Or yeah, or
For
people
sure.
that are famous that are dead.
Yeah.
And it's like
Yeah.
back in the day, they did. It's almost treating him as though he's no longer here, which
Yeah,
is kind
that's
of
what I thought as well. I was like, this guy is still living. He's still thriving. So,
he
you
may
know,
he may still be back at the Bakers one day. You never know. I
maybe,
mean, pop careers
maybe.
don't necessarily last forever.
So true. That is true. That's why you kind of have to enjoy every minute of it, like while you can. Um, but yeah, that's crazy that they've turned the bakery into like a museum or like a tourist attraction.
How much has your I can see in the videos and everything that the kind of aesthetics changed as well. What's kind of driven the aesthetic as much as the music? Where do you look for in terms of influence for that?
Um, I I find like sort of darker imagery and stuff like that interesting. I always have like I think I've always thought about things really deeply, and like even like in terms of like spirituality, like I find it all like the occult very interesting. So I think I always wanted to kind of incorporate that with my music. I just didn't know how, again, because I was kind of going down this pop route, and I was like it might be a bit strange to just like randomly like start recording in chapels like or churches. So I think I don't know. I mean, I definitely take inspiration from the likes of My Chemical Romance. There's other bands like just like gothic bands that I love. The Cramps are really cool as well. Just kind of like darker imagery. Yeah, it's always fascinated me. So yeah, I'm happy that I'm sort of starting to like delve into that now. But there's definitely more to come. Like this
Yeah,
EP is going to be quite dark and heavy. So.
that's cool. Well,
Mhm.
is there anything on the EP that might surprise anyone that's heard your music before?
Um. Yeah, I mean, I think so. There's a song that it's the next single release, and it's quite different because it's a 4-track EP. Um, we've had Need and I've had Bite out so far. So this next single, it's quite different than the rest of them. The other three are kind of cohesive and they work together. Um, but this next one, I'm so proud of it. It was a demo that I wrote. I think I wrote it when I was like really young, and it just kind of sat in the back, and I didn't do anything with it. And then I was working with my producer, Rocky O'Reilly, and I sent him over like a bunch of demos, and he picked it out, and he was like, "This is really good. Like, why did you never do anything with this?" And I was like, "I have no idea." But yeah, I think because it was like it's such an old song, but it fits so well with like my current stuff. I was like, I actually could do something cool with this. There's a really cool synth line on it though, and I don't really like. I used like different synths in the past, but this one is like it's quite synthy and also quite heavy and weird. But I love it. I think it's gonna shock some people, so I'm excited for it.
Love it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It is
Do
very
you
cool.
do you ever play like with synths when you're composing, or is it purely the guitar?
Um, I think I kind of I do a very simplistic demo session where it is just me and I always write my acoustic. And lyrics always come last for me. Like I wouldn't say I'm a great lyricist because I focus a lot more on like music and the melody and sort of chord progressions, and then the lyrics come last. But yeah, like in terms of synth, it would kind of be like an afterthought of like, oh, I wonder if we could make this like slightly cooler. I have this like basic idea down, and then I'll like start playing on a synth. But yeah, no, because like my setup at home is quite not limited, but like it's definitely like it's quite bare bones, where it's just guitars and bass and like a loop on like a drum pad thing. So
Yeah. I like your lyrics. I mean, is that something that you feel like you will grow in confidence with over time, or do you just struggle with lyric writing full stop? Or
um I think I struggle with lyric writing mainly because I mean, like in fairness, I was like when the pandemic happened, like I didn't get to finish my last years of high school. I didn't go to uni because then the music thing happened. I think I have lacked experiences as well, like which is usually like fuel for writing. So I think the more I experience with like the more I get older, maybe it will like I will start to, you know, write more and enjoy lyrics a bit more. But right now I'm kind of just like I am getting better at it. Like I have seen like a difference in like my earlier lyrics to some lyrics that I'm writing now. I can tell that I'm getting a bit more confident in myself as well, like in my
yeah,
like lyrical abilities. But yeah, I think it does come with experiences, and that was something maybe I lacked as like a teenager going into adulthood, just because of everything. So yeah, I mean, I do think that like these next few tracks and these next few singles, like the lyrics have definitely gotten better. Um, but yeah, there's still room. There's still room for improvement.
it obviously musicians, especially the best musicians, actually learn from each other. And a lot of musicians that I've talked to will go on songwriting courses with other musicians,
Yeah.
etc., to learn. Would that be something that you would particularly like to spend some time doing at some point, like especially around the lyric side of things, maybe talking to other really good lyricists to go, all
Yeah.
right, teach me.
I mean, yeah, I mean, like I've done different sessions. I wrote with Connor White. He's a fantastic lyricist. I wrote with Cormac Butler and Connor Adams. I think Connor Adams is in All Twins. They're fantastic. I've worked with just different musicians, and each time I go in and I'm like, yeah, like so I love writing music. Lyrics are still kind of something I'm working on, and then we'll get halfway through the song, and they're like, "Your lyrics are fine. Like, why are you so why are you so stressed?" And I'm like, "Oh, maybe this is just like a mental thing for me. Like, it might be a bit of a mental block where." I need that little bit of encouragement from someone where they're like, no, your lyrics are actually grand. Whereas I'm alone in my room and I'm like, this is terrible. I'm never writing lyrics ever again. I think it's more just like a reassurance thing, maybe. But yeah, I've
I
written
love
some
your
songs.
honesty, though. I love. I think
I
that's
mean, I think we have to be honest about things.
yeah,
But
but
I've
people
written,
aren't in general. I mean,
yeah,
I think a lot of people, are very quick to big themselves up, especially in the music industry,
mhm,
and say, actually, I'm pretty proficient at this and whatever.
yeah,
I think it's actually really refreshing to hear you say, well, actually, that side of things could be better, and I
yeah,
could get better at it. You will get better at it. I think it is. I think it probably is partly a confidence thing, and I
yeah,
think actually what you got to do is take inspiration from some of the people that I followed for years, in terms of music, who I would now class as some of the best lyricists in the world. When they first started, they had someone write lyrics for them, and
mhm,
over time, I think they then started writing together, and then they've just
yeah,
become a brilliant lyricist because they've learnt the craft, but b, probably, as you say, years experience,
yeah,
situations come along and give you a viewpoint which you don't have necessarily when
Yeah,
you're fresh out of high school and whatever.
for sure, for
You
sure.
know.
There's definitely still time. You know, I was thinking of maybe going to uni this year now for film. Because like film is something I'm super
For
interested
film.
in.
Yeah.
So we'll see. There's loads of like different situations I'll find myself in, and I'll go, oh, that'll be a cool song idea. So there's still time.
Hey, do you know what? It's not a bad idea to go and study film. My
Yeah.
eldest went and studied film at Cheltenham. Where are you thinking? Anywhere in particular in the country? Have you got
Um,
somewhere?
Ulster in Belfast, Ulster
Oh, why
University.
not? Yeah.
I mean, a lot of my friends went and studied film in Ulster, and they all said they loved it and it was great and it was super practical. There's other universities, but they were more theory based, and I was like, no, I think I would like to just get out there and and create little films and direct. And when I was younger, like I loved writing different stories and whatever. And then as I got older, I was really into films and how things were shot, and like just like cinematography and everything, and soundtracks, and I find it also interesting. So
Well, here's the really. I mean, we'll whisper now so that other people don't hear, because otherwise they'll all get this idea, right? But it's the really clever thing about going and studying film, especially if you're a musician as well, is that especially on the degrees, that you're encouraged to enter your films into international competitions. Now, if you do that, right, obviously, especially if you place your own music in those films, that is the best way of getting your music out there to the world.
Yeah, I know, and I actually never really thought of that, to be fair.
You see,
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
genius, right?
yeah, I mean, creating soundtracks would be like, as long as I'm creating some sort of music, like I'm happy. I don't necessarily have to be out gigging live. Like that's also like an amazing part of it, and I love it. But like even just like doing soundtracks, creating stuff, I would be
Yeah.
so happy. So yeah, film. I think it's a good idea for me.
Well, the amount of musicians that whose career has completely taken off because it's been a Cannes Film Festival or whatever, and their track is in a film,
Yeah,
and that wins an award, and then boom, there you go.
yeah,
There's the world's opened up.
I
See,
know,
it's genius. It's genius. You've actually
We'll see.
planned the whole thing. That's what it is.
I'm actually 2 steps ahead all the time. So this
Yeah.
is.
Tell everybody that's listening, and thank you so much for coming and talking to us today, and
Yeah, of
sharing a
course.
little bit of your life and your music with us. When's the entire EP out, and where is the best place for people to go and get it?
The best place for people to listen to the EP is probably Spotify. I mean, it'll be on like every major streaming platform, but Spotify. I'm also mainly on Instagram if you want to like keep up to date with different things and releases. I'm hoping the EP will be out by sort of middle autumn. Like I want to say like October time. Fingers crossed. But I still have another single release to do, and then the EP.
Yeah. And now, finally, obviously, you're from where originally?
I'm from Bestbrook, like outside Belfast. So
Right. Okay. And so, what I was going to say is that Ireland haven't won the Eurovision Song Contest for quite a while. Once upon a time, they had a really good opportunity. So, how about next year you bring a bit of goth to the Eurovision Song Contest? I mean, that would be great, wouldn't it?
I mean, it would be. I mean, Bambi Thug did it. Like they
Yeah.
were quite goth. That was an amazing performance. But yeah, maybe. You never know.
If
We'll
put it this way, if someone asked you, would you say yes?
to do the Eurovision.
It's one of those, isn't it? Because it could be, could be the end of the career, or it could be the beginning. You never know.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I definitely would think about it. I mean, obviously, I would think about it, but there's other factors there where, I mean, Jedward did the Eurovision, didn't they? Right? They're Irish and they did the Eurovision. Did they win?
Did they?
No,
I don't know. Did they do the Eurovision? I'm going to have to look
they
that
must
up
have.
now.
They must
Yeah.
have. They're like Irish icons, so they must have done it.
I think it's interesting that in recent times, more established musicians have taken the risk to do it, even if they haven't done particularly well on it, because actually they've recognised that they've got a half decent song, and they probably realise that actually the people that are judging haven't got a clue anyway, so it doesn't really
Yeah,
matter. And
yeah,
it can be quite a good platform just to launch a career, even if you don't do
yeah.
particularly well.
I mean,
Um,
Maneskin, they came first, but like it was like the Italian band, like their entire career just like went off as soon as they did Eurovision, you know.
yeah,
So it can be good. It can be really good, you know. Um, yeah, I think I would think about it if I was approached.
yeah. Yeah, no. Over the years, there's been some little known bands that have done quite well at Eurovisions,
Oh
like
yeah.
ABBA
Mhm.
and ABBA
Oh
and
yeah, just ABBA and
people like
yeah,
and
for
people
sure.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Just little bands.
Bucks Fizz. Anyone
I,
remembers Bucks Fizz?
my dad, I think, remembered. I've heard that name for sure. For sure.
Oh dear! If you've never seen, folks, if you've never seen Bucks Fizz, and you just, especially if you're watching this on the middle of a heavy afternoon of work or whatever, now's the time to just go and enjoy a bit of Bucks Fizz, because not the drink responsibly, but it never fails to cheer you up. Really, it's just great pop at its best. Listen, Lauren, it's been absolutely wonderful having you on. I wish you all the best with the future of your music. Folks, do go and check out Lauren's music. It's going to be winging its way to you soon on the old Spotify, etc. But please don't just listen to it. If you enjoy it, please stop, go and find Lauren on the old Instagram, etc., and say hello and how much you've enjoyed it as well, because that's what really counts. You know, don't
Thank you.
just don't just play people's music. How rude not to at least go and tell them afterwards that you've enjoyed it, especially as you're only paying pennies to well, not even that, for streaming it into the delights of your own home. If you've enjoyed this, folks, this has been my music. If you haven't enjoyed it, sorry, I've wasted 32 minutes and 17 seconds of your day, but you can get it back. Don't worry, you can get it back. You can now get that back. All you've got to do is send a stamped addressed envelope to Iceland. I can't tell you whether that's the country or the frozen food company, but send it to Iceland. They will. You'll get it back anyway. You'll get that 32 minutes back. There we are.